Today is what a way to start. I want to hear what this mic sounds like. Hang on. I want to hear what this mic sounds like. Hang on. Because for some reason it's showing me a lot of feedback on the audio mixer. Sounds fine. I think it's good. Yeah, there's that funny little loop. I think it's good. Why does it do that feedback loop? Anyway, there's that funny little loop. I can pop out chat now. Pop out chat. Anyway, I can pop out chat now. Pop out chat. Boom. Boom. There we go. Alright, I'm ready to roll, man. Huh, looks like I didn't upload a thumbnail for yesterday's show. That's funny. We're gonna do that real quick. Hmm. Hey, let's roll the intro again, shall we? Let's go. Let me upload this. It's the 29th of December, isn't it? Alright. I'll edit all this out. No one's the wiser, right? Alright, here we go. Today is December 29th, 2022. This is Reality Stretch. I'm your host, Spencer Ingram. Let's stretch reality together. I'm digging this new like pink background thing I have going on. I had this LED light strip installed in my kids' room, and they weren't really using it. It was kind of fun. They played with it. They changed the colors. See, I can change the colors. Look, now it's green. Ta-da! Blue. It's so much fun. But I think the red is a cheery look, isn't it? Might be stressful to some people. Some people don't like red. Anyway, whatever. Well, that went sideways quickly. Here we are. I had some fun ideas yesterday of what I wanted to do on this show, and these are the ideas. I want to write them down as we go because I didn't add them to my sandbox like I should have. And fine. One of them we'll do right now. Is it bad to plan on doing a copyright violation? Is it bad to plan on straight up doing a copyright violation and asking for forgiveness rather than permission? I don't know, but that's what we're going to determine today. Because here's my question and my ethical dilemma. I've talked about this book before. The Results Book. Okay? By Alpha Awareness Training Results Book. How to Get Results in Life. How to Flow with the Universe by Wally Minto. I've talked about that book before on the stream. And for the life of me, I cannot find anything about Wally Minto or his estate. So what we're going to do first this morning is we're going to try to track down Wally Minto. And I'm going to dedicate the first part of this stream and podcast to trying to track him down. Why? Because one of my ideas that I had was that I want to, prior to the new year rolling in, so just here in the next couple days, I would love to pull like an all-nighter, take a couple caffeine pills, and do a straight through read of Alpha Awareness Training by Wally Minto. Do a straight through read and see if I'd be covered under like fair use or something. But the point is, there's the spirit of the law, and there's the ethics, and there's all of that to be considered. And I do not speak. Let's talk about the spirit of the law first. I do not speak for the dead, obviously. I can't represent them. They do merit representation. They are, after all, a voting bloc. They do vote in elections. The dead do. Okay, maybe that was a little bit off the mark here. But my point is, my religious belief is that there is an afterlife. I believe in an afterlife, and I don't know much about it, but I do know some about it. I believe some about it. According to what I believe in the scriptures, there's like a spirit world where the spirits reside and they await the resurrection. I believe in the resurrection. I believe we'll receive a perfected, glorified body of flesh and bone. And of course, that's only available through Jesus Christ. But when we're thinking about the dead, let's talk about the spirit, pun intended, the spirit of the law. Now, Wally Minto says right in the beginning of the book that the content is not his own. So to me, and he's saying that because he's saying if it wouldn't have come through him, it would have come through someone else, right? So it's interesting to think of the ethics of what I'm doing, because what I could do is I could just clone the book, not verbatim, but rewrite it in my own words and publish something. And I can attribute this as being inspired by Wally Minto, etc., etc. And that would be fine. I could do that. But the thing is, there's the results book that was published in published in 1976 by Arlo W. Minto. It has an ISBN, and that's what we're going to look up. Arlo W. Minto. Goes by Wally Minto. Now, here's the beginning of it. I did not create this results book, nor do I claim any credit for its development. This results book is like an intelligent individual entity which began and has grown from its own intelligence. It might be likened unto a tree which begins from its own seed and grows through its own intelligence. The tree expresses its growth through its environment, through the soil, water, sun, and air. However, this environment does not give the tree the intelligence to grow. It grows because of its own intelligence through this environment. Now, here's the copyright claim at the beginning of the book. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or by any means without permission in writing. Permission to teach classes based on this reserved by the author. Now here's the problem. Our dear friend Arlo W. Minto, which I'm going to Google here. Wally Minto, Arlo W. Minto. Our dear friend. Look, you can buy this book right here. Alpha Awareness Training book by Arlo W. Minto. There's been a couple different releases. So let's look at, like, on Amazon. Let's read some of the reviews because I want you guys to see this. It's interesting. 9 ratings here on this listing. Let's see. Years ago, I was given permission to quote a portion. This is by Heather Noel on Amazon. A portion of the results book by Wally Minto in a CD transcript. Because I quoted Wally and about 2,000 people have now read the transcript, I've had many people contact me over the years asking if I knew how to purchase Wally's Alpha Awareness Training, which was on tape years ago, but not on a CD. People raved about Wally and the training. Finally, I decided to buy the book. Don't worry about the fact that it was written in the 1970s. It is fantastic and a total eye-opener. What an awkward way to say that. Shouldn't it be a total eye-opener? I don't know. Kathy W. Gardner says, great study. This is a great book. Owned one long ago and loved the principles. New Wally Minto. So happy to be able to find a copy. Maybe I could, contact Kathy W. Gardner. Maybe I could. If I click on their Amazon profile, open it up in a new public profile. I wouldn't even know how to track her down, honestly. That's cool. I have a public profile too. I should see what it says. Anyway, it's interesting. You can see people's reviews. It seems a bit sus, doesn't it? I see how people are spending their money, living their life. All right. Eric. Great next book after the results book by Wally Minto. This training is excellent. I am also looking to purchase the audio in cassette or CD when I can find it. A lot of people asking about that. Verl Minto, the best. I took a week long, this is from Vivian. I took a week-long, way too short course with Wally Minto at Unity Center, Lake Worth, Florida. I swear to you or anyone that this was the best course I ever took. With all the hundreds of courses I've taken in positive thinking, science of mind, Unity, I'm okay, you're okay, Dale Carnegie, you name it, every positive thinking book I could get my hands on, every such seminar that I could take, none ever beats Wally Minto's course. And all that I learned from him. He and his Alpha Truth Awareness course changed my life without a doubt. So I wish I could go anywhere to take his course again or see him once again. The flower portion of his course was and still is one that is still working for me. That was about in 1969 or so. Is Wally Verl's brother? All right. I took a week-long, this is from Gary, user Gary. I took a week-long course from Wally Minto back in 1980. Hard to believe that was 37 years ago. The directed meditation was very relaxing and uplifting for me, but I've drifted away from practice over the decades and am just now starting to look for my old book. If I recall correctly, Wally was previously a certified trainer for a similar course called Silva Mind Control before he developed his own Alpha Awareness spin-off course. So I'm guessing that the two paradigms are related and probably share some concepts in common. Let's search for Silva Mind Control. Sweet. That's another one to think about. This book can literally change your life. Ann Amber, another Amazon user. I had the benefit of a week-long class with the author and this book as the material decades ago. It opened aspects of self I did not know existed. He used this book as text. A key aspect for me is the multiple ways human may or may not imagine and the process says involved. I discovered the spouse to be a vivid fixed imager, while my inner mind process is as a non-imager. Until you read this book, you may never know the enormous difference. Search for changing info on the internet, and if you find it, look at the images page for detail from the book. I consider this book and the results book the author published as the most valuable materials ever encountered. Now, this is the specifically in reference to the Alpha Awareness Training, which is this book. Boom. But that's like much, much longer. So I would prefer to start small. Therefore, I will rather look at the results book referenced. And here, let's see. Should I use, sometimes I need to take notes on what I'm looking into. Should I use the show notes as like a general notes, or should I like make the show notes public facing? I don't know. Is there a need for another document in my repertoire that I can just take notes on things I'm learning? For now, I'll just use the show notes for that. And if it becomes too wild, then let's see what happens if I copy this review and put it in the show notes. So I read somewhere else that Arlo and Verl were brothers. I'm going to copy this review. I'm going to paste like 3 of these reviews in the show notes just for reference. And there's many, many, many more positive reviews. But I'm only going to do these 3. Because these 3 have topics in them that I think need further treatment. All right. First, what is the Silva mind control method? It's a book by Jose Silva. Why does it only have 3.9 out of 5 stars on Goodreads? See, Jose Silva passed away in 1999. The Silva mind control method. I'll at least, at a minimum, I want to focus on Wally Minto right now. But I will at least put the Silva mind control method in my reality stretch book list. Won't we? Isn't that a good idea? The Silva mind control method. Okay. I'm not going to take the time to write that subtitle, am I? The revolutionary program by the founder of the world's most famous mind control course. Author Jose Silva. Original published year. This is a revision. The Silva mind control method. Anyway, here's what I'm talking about with the spirit of the law. I mean, not knowing Wally or Arlo Minto personally right now, he has passed away. I believe, according to my faith and my understanding of doctrine, I believe he's in the spirit world right now. And so, by the spirit of the law, if you were in the spirit world, would you rather have your ideas continue and outlive you, especially if you believed in them and believed that they were important? Would you rather have them continue? Would you be excited that they were continuing to be discussed and spread in the public sphere and your legacy lived on? Or would you rather, due to some copyright law, that they are relegated to obscurity? I think it's an obvious answer. Now, I'm not saying use this as justification to violate all copyrights, because I don't think it necessarily applies, especially when the publisher is still active or the family's estate is easily discoverable. And that's what I'm going to prove right now. I've looked and searched for Wally Minto's. I've searched and searched for Wally Minto's estate, or Arlo W. Minto. I'm assuming that the W in Arlo W. Minto is Wally Minto. So what we can do next is let's look up Arlo W. I'll just type Arlo Wally Minto. Would it be Arlo Wallace? Is Wally short for Wallace? I don't know. So I'll start by saying Arlo W. Minto obituary. My goodness, I could have been showing my monitor this whole time if I would have just hit a button. Huh. Alright. Died in 2000. This is what I've been able to find. Let's open up these first 4 links. First 4 links appear to be the most relevant. All right. So, Arlo was born on June 14th, 1933, and passed away on Sunday, April 23rd, 2000. Arlo was a resident of Eagleville, California. And boom, that is the obituary that we've all been waiting for. So I'm going to put this in the show notes. Arlo W. Minto obituary. All right. It's very concise, is it not? Source is tributes.com. I'm going to copy this link. We'll see if Verl is still living. Because if Verl's still living, then I have my answer on who to contact. All right, so note that some of the memories left on tributes.com say the following. I was a student of Wally's Alpha Awareness Graduate and Results Seminars. I absorbed all the material due to Wally's way of teaching. It changed my life, literally. I'm still applying the Alpha Awareness and results to my daily life 30 plus years later. His material was so thought-provoking that between seminars, repeated in a year, I was able to get out of a bad marriage and find, with God's help, a new and perfect husband for me. I'll always be grateful to Wally for his seminars. Wally's teaching took us beyond the things we thought we could do. The eye-opening and common sense seemed miraculous. He shared his and others' experiences, making Alpha Awareness more personal. I remember something he said that I think of often. In an answer to a question, Wally said, "If it happened, it must have been God's will." It gives comfort to know Wally will live forever in one way and another. That was posted by Sandy Scherer in Tijeras, New Mexico. Tijeras, New Mexico? There, yeah. This is by Carol Douglas Hanks, Beaverton, Oregon. I attended one of Arlo's seminars on Alpha Awareness back in the 70s and remember being encouraged to continue studying the process. Sorry to hear he and his brother, Wally, have passed away. What the actual... This chick says, Carol Douglas Hanks, back in 2010, wrote this message, said that, sorry to hear he and his brother Wally have passed away. What? So is Arlo W. Minto not Wally Minto, or was she mistaken? Or am I mistaken? Is Arlo Minto Verl Minto? So we've got three names we're looking into. Somebody help me, please. I ought to be able to find... Well, I should be able to find these people, actually. Maybe I can give... Oh, I do have access to a pretty robust people search tool. So I could track these people down, potentially. But let's see what we can find first, if we can find their estate. So far we're dealing with searching for Wally Minto. Where is Wally Minto? People, and so here we go. People of interest. Wally Minto, Verl Minto, and Arlo W. Minto. Now, those three could all be the same person. They could all be different people. I thought Wally and Verl were brothers, but now this person's comment has confused me. I'm going to copy and paste this tribute into the show notes. All right. The one about Wally and Arlo being brothers. Okay, next section of obituaries, legacy.com. This obituary offers nothing. The obituary on legacy.com offers nothing that the tributes.com didn't have, except it has one less review, one less comment. So here we are, legacy.com. All right. Okay, this is the all death, burial, cemetery, and obituary results for Arlo Minto. Arlo Waldon Minto. Okay, so Waldon. Okay. This could be promising. Obituary Daily Times, an index of published obituaries. Go to our Arlo Waldon Minto. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because, okay, Arlo Waldon, Wally Minto. This is great. This is great. This was posted in. Yeah, but what if I want to actually view? What if I actually want to view the obituary? Can I not? Hang on. This page is for searching the entire Obituary Daily Times database. The database has entries that give information about obituaries that appeared in publications around the world. The entries appear in the following format. Okay. Okay. So this was posted in Deseret News on May 6th, 2000. Salt Lake Tribune. Barbara J. Walden. Why is this? There's, oh no. The only two that match. The only two that match are the first two hits. One from Deseret News, one from Salt Lake Tribune. Oh my goodness. Okay, we might have a hit here. Because the reason why I'm trying to find the obituary is because the obituary usually mentions something about. Oh my, great. Is this gonna put me behind a paywall? Nope, it's gonna let me do it. Yes. Yes. This is what I've never been able to find. An actual good obituary. Thank goodness. Because again, my intent is to do like an all-night reading of the results book. But to do it right, I want to get permission from his estate. And I haven't been able to find the estate. So I was just going to do like a ask for forgiveness later. Whatever you call that. But if I can find a good obituary, then can I copy this or do I have to straight up clip it? What? Do I have to transcribe this? No way. No wonder I can't find it in text. No one's ever transcribed it. But thank goodness we have an image of this. And it was clipped by Sarah B. Sutton. Thank you, Sarah. All right, so here we go. Arlo Waldon Wally Minto. Wally Minto died Easter morning, Sunday, April 23rd, 2000. He was born... knocked over me microphone there for a moment. Sorry about that. He was born where he died at the Minto Ranch in Eagleville on June 4th, 1933, to Robert and Edith Minto. He joined 4 older brothers, Bobby, Merrill, Verl, and Harlan. Note Verl is spelled V-R-L-E. V-R-L-E. So, Verl is an older brother to Wally. And now we know that Arlo and Wally are the same person. Arlo Waldon, Wally Minto. So we can merge those two. Done. He joined 4 older brothers, Bobby, Merrill, Verl, and Harlan. A sister, Marlene, and another brother, Keith, followed him into the family. He attended the old 2-room schoolhouse in Eagleville, then graduated from Surprise Valley High School. He stayed a year working on the ranch with his parents, and after a year at California State University at Chico, he volunteered for the second draft and went to boot camp in North Carolina. What year was this, did it say? If he was born in 1933 and this was after high school, then obviously this was World War II, right? He was trained in radio communications. However, his greatest joy in the service was jumping out of airplanes as a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne. After his discharge, Minto was recruited by Arthur Murray Dance Studios in San Mateo. He worked as a troubleshooter for various studios in California, Texas, and eventually Oklahoma. While attending Oklahoma University, he met Florin K. Wagoner, and they were married August 4th, 1962, in Del City, Oklahoma. They operated their own dance studio in Norman, Oklahoma, while Kay finished earning her bachelor degree of fine arts in sculpture. They then moved to the ranch in Eagleville. What I want to know, does this mean he actually danced? Because if he's just a troubleshooter, what's a troubleshooter do for a dance studio? Really quick, let's take a little sidetrack here. Arthur Murray Dance Studios in San Mateo. Let's see if there's still a thing. Maybe they reference Wally. Arthur Murray Dance Studio, San Mateo. Sick. So they do ballroom dance. Let's see if they reference Arlo Wally Minto. Nope, just brings you back to the obituary. That would have been pretty cool. Arthur Murray is apparently a famous ballroom dancer. I'm going to add him to the sandbox. Research Arthur Murray ballroom dance person. Arthur, welcome to the sandbox. Thanks for visiting. They continued hauling hay in the summer and taught ballroom dancing during the winter months in such communities as Redding, Burney, Fall River, Ayden, Lookout, Alturas, Fort Bidwell, Cedarville, Eagleville, and Empire, Nevada. Check it out. I think that there's some sort of correlation between dancing and a well-adjusted perspective of life. That's one of the reasons I need to get back into Irish dancing. Going into the sandbox, baby. Is there a correlation between dancing and positive... What would I say? Dancing and a well-adjusted, balanced life. I need to get back to Irish dancing regularly. I mean, shoot, I can even set up a board and put a different camera out there and do it on live stream. Sure. But that's one of the goals that I potentially have on the recreation bucket or the stream bucket, because this stream is recreation for me. So one of the goals that I have to maybe put together an Irish dance course online by third quarter, so preferably to be released on St. Patrick's Day. It would be a lot of work. I'd have to wake up early. I'd have to figure out the technology behind how to produce and record that. And I'd like to have my own suite of music that I own the rights to in order to put on that platform. And then I'd have to find and select a platform. I'd rather do something evergreen where people pay $4 or $5 a month for continual access to the course, and I can continue to upload evergreen content, rather than going like the Udemy route of people pay once for the course and then have lifetime access. Because I think it'd be better to be evergreen at a lower rate than a one-time payment at a higher rate, but I might be crazy. But I think there's ways to be able to... I'd rather be motivated to produce evergreen content and not just have stale, old stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm glad you agree. In Palo Cedro, Minto attended Shasta College, sold real estate, started a Nutrilite business, and enjoyed the births of his 2 sons. This is where it gets good. This is how I find their estate. Now that I know more about him and I know the names of his kids, his family, now my game plan's changed. It is better to ask permission first. So I'm going to track down these people and ask them if they're okay if I read the results book and maybe even the alpha awareness training book on a live stream. But I'm also going to ask them if I can produce it as an audiobook or something, because it needs to be done. There's lots of people looking for it. There's a high demand for it, and someone's got to do it. And if not me, then who? Someone better do it. And in the end, though, if they push back and say, no, I can't read it on the live stream, and no, I can't do an audiobook or whatever, then I'll just do what every other self-help person does, and I'll just basically reform the same ideas or similar ideas and credit them to him as being inspired by Arlo Waldon Minto. But I'd rather just read verbatim what he said and give him all the credit for it. Anyway, so here it is. A Nutrilite business, and enjoyed the births of his 2 sons, Trenton and Tyler. Back in Oklahoma for 2 years, the foundation was laid for what was to become Minto's life purpose. In the early 70s, in business to Susanville, California. In 1973, he continued lecturing around the world and authored 3 books, earning him a listing in Who's Who in California. He also was a member of the National Speakers Association and founded the Alturas Toastmasters. Interesting. I visited a few Toastmasters chapter before COVID. I'll have to see if they're meeting in person again yet, because I might join a Toastmasters. It's good for networking, good for public speaking, would definitely benefit me and the show and podcast. One of my favorite things about Toastmasters is they have what they call an agrammarian, and they listen for you when you're speaking in regards to your filler words? How many hms and ahs and uhs and you knows and likes? How many do you use? How many filler words do you use when you are speaking publicly? They have someone that just listens for that and they count. Chick, tick, tick, tick the box. How many times you use a filler word during. Another example of a filler word frequently used is so. So what I'm saying is, so this, so yesterday, so what about this? And I just used I use way too much as a filler word. So I love the concept of an agrammarian, someone who can catch you using filler words and pull that back a little bit. Love it. He had such hobbies as snow skiing, snowmobiling, hunting, fishing, horsemanship, camping, and Pinochle? What? Pinochle? Is that how you spell Pinochle? All of these activities he enjoyed with his family. Hang on here. Pinochle. Is that how you spell Pinochle? Pinochle, also called Pinochle or Pinochle, is a trick-taking ace-10 card game, typically for 2 to 4 players and played with a 48-card deck. It is derived from the card game Bezique. Did I say that right? Players score points by trick-taking and also by forming combinations of cards into melds. 3 to 4 players. I surely didn't understand really any of that. Pretty sure it's Pinochle, though, because I've heard of that. Anyway, it's a card game. That's enough. I'm going to add to the sandbox. Learn the rules of common card games. Maybe the way to do that is by playing them online with strangers on the street. What are the quintessential card games? What's the canon of card games? What is the canon of card games? Is Pinochle among them? Blackjack. Rummy. I've played Rummy before. Some friends taught me Rummy. And I had beginner's luck and I beat them. Maybe they let me, but there's an element of luck to it. So I also was great at Farkle, the dice rolling game. I love that game. Farkle. Risk taking. Is there a better dice game than Farkle? I like it better than Yahtzee because I feel like it's a little bit less. I think Farkle's simple. You just have the cup, you've got the dice, you've got the scoring. Look, cardgames.io. Real quick, there's got to be a general canon of card games. What are the card games to know, huh? Maybe later. Wikipedia wants me to donate, and I say, maybe later. Just tells me how to pronounce it, but I don't know how to pronounce IPA English. Looks more like Russian to me. Seriously, look at this. Whenever there's that thing that tells you how to pronounce something, I bet my sister knows how to do this. One of my sisters. Maybe both. See that? Look at that. Looks like a foreign language to me. I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. Okay, so real quick. I mean, who even does this? Chance is medium. Play is clockwise. That makes sense to me. Playing time 1 to 5 hours. Rank high to low. A 10 K. So ace is up. A 10 is up. Then king, queen, jack, and 9. Why are an ace and a 10 higher than a... I understand the ace. That's quite common, but I've never heard of a 10 being higher than a king, a queen, and a jack. Does that make sense? Not to me, but that's okay. Let me look at this. There's got to be a way. There's got to be some reference on... Like, this Pinochle page needs to be... It needs... Oh, there's an American Pinochle Association and a National Pinochle Association? What? There's got to be somewhere on Wikipedia that says this is a child page of this general parent term of like list of card games or something. Maybe I should contact the Pinochle Association to ask them what are the quintessential card games, because that is a something about my life that has eluded me. Is really... Oh yeah, wow, for sure. Oh wait, never mind. The link to the American Pinochle Association takes you to the Wayback Machine, so it looks like it's defunct. But let me Google American Pinochle Association. Now there's just the National Pinochle Association, which is still a thing. Find it at npapinochle.org. The premier Pinochle League in America. Is that so? Forget being drafted into the NFL. I want to be drafted into the NPA. I'm sure there's something else. And besides, that's not something you get drafted into. I guess it could be. But, I mean, people say you get drafted into the NFL. But you get drafted onto a team that's within the NFL. I wouldn't want to be drafted onto a league. There's a membership. Can I join a membership even though I know nothing about Pinochle? Or do you have to know something about Pinochle to join? Here it is online, cardgames.io. I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it over here. All right, enough of this. So, Wally Minto was big into Pinochle. All of these activities he enjoyed with his family. Minto was diagnosed in 1993 with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, at which time his doctors gave him 6 months to live. But he lived for 5 years with alternative treatments. Though the health of his physical body declined in the remaining years, his spirit was strong and he continued to play Pinochle, even to his last days. Maybe the Pinochle was a contributory factor in his longevity. After 22 years in Susanville, returned home to the ranch where he was born and raised for the final 5 years of his life. Where is this again? Susanville, Oklahoma. So when he was doing real estate, was he selling nationwide or mostly in Oklahoma? Oh, I spelled it with a Z. What the heck? Susanville, Oklahoma? No. Is that Susanville, California? It's got to be. I got confused. Formerly known as Rooptown. Why would they change that? That's a great name. That's a great name. I come from Rooptown. Where do we go here? Uh-oh. No, I want... Did I get out of... Here we go. Let's find out where Susanville came from. Hang on. Where's Susanville? I should be able to take this clip, by the way. Oh, yeah, in the early 70s in business to Susanville, California. All right. Can I view this clip? Hang on. Wonder how I can save this. I mean, I could just screenshot it. All right, here we go. After 22 years in Susanville, returned home to the ranch where he was born and raised for the final 5 years of his life. He was preceded in death by his parents, Robert and Edith, and two brothers, Harlan and Verl. So yes, Verl passed away too. Which is the surviving... Okay. He is survived by his former wife, Florin Kay, two sons, Trenton and Tyler, daughter-in-law, Melanie, and his grandson, Dakota, brothers Bobby, Merrill, and Keith, sister Marlene, and numerous nieces, nephews, and cousins. So the ones to contact, in my opinion, are Trenton and Tyler. Those are the sons. Let's find the sons. Memorial services will be held Saturday, May 6th at 11 a.m. at the Eagleville Community Church. A potluck will follow at the Eagleville Community Hall. Boom. That's what this stream is all about. We have successfully located the info I've been looking for in regards to Wally Minto. And here we can save it as a PDF. And we can save it as a JPEG. And what I say is, why not both? Why not both? But I'm going to take the JPEG. And I thank goodness for this person who clipped this. I finally, thanks to them. Now, would it have been more fun to ask forgiveness rather than permission? Potentially. Would it have been more fun? But do I feel better about finding the names of his sons? I do. Very much so. Now I can search for them. I do feel good about this, even if I was secretly hoping to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. So Verl Minto, real quick, let's see if we can find. Alright, I just copied, I just straight up, I don't have time to try to transcribe that info, but the key takeaway here is that his sons are Trenton and Tyler. Trenton Minto and Tyler Minto. I've added more to my people of interest. And I don't know, I don't want to find them on the stream. I'll find them off stream because I think finding them on the stream would be, even though I don't have any audience members, I think that it would be considered doxing. I'm grateful today in Reality Stretch, the world of Reality Stretch. I'm so grateful to have found more info on the previously heretofore elusive Arlo Minto, Wally Minto, and Verl Minto. We've discovered that Arlo W. Minto and Wally Minto are indeed the same person. And I know the names of his sons, and I will try to find their contact details off stream. There you go. Hopefully I can get permission to read the book, the results book, and do maybe like an audiobook or something of it. It needs to be done. It really does. And if I can't get that permission, like I said, I will just incorporate I will incorporate my own ideas into a medium that is inspired by Wally and Ferl. I wish I could have had the opportunity to take their courses. I really think that I think Robert Kiyosaki has taken the course, because in his book he talks about how he went to a seminar back in I think the 70s or 80s, where they talked about you need to be, then do, then have, rather than have, then do, then be. So interesting, very interesting to me. I think that Robert Kiyosaki, if not this same course, very similar course, but I wish I could reverse the clock and attend some of these courses. I think I would find myself rubbing shoulders with inspiring people. All right, now at the beginning of the stream, I said that there were 2 ideas in my sandbox. The other one maybe slightly less of a thing. If I hang on, Sylvan mind control method. Hang on, let me just finish populating this. What year was it published? Originally published 1977. My level of interest is a 2. My level of interest in the results book right now was like a 5. Also, my dad gave me 2 books that he said I should read. Let me post those up before they disappear, since I have my book list open right now. They're still in my personal sandbox on my phone. Haven't transferred them yet. So, Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese? A book by Spencer Johnson. What a fine name, Spencer. What a fine name. That. Best-selling seminal work and motivational business fable by Spencer Johnson. Originally published 1998. Who Moved My Cheese? Since my dad recommended it, I will put it up there. Now, I'll put it up at a 5. Who Moved My Cheese? Now, these are not in public domain. These are not in public domain. So, as much as I rate my level of interest, if I can find some books that are in public domain, like The Richest Man in Babylon, is that in public domain? Project Gutenberg. If there's a book that's in public domain, I will straight up read it on the stream, and maybe even have a special session and have a second YouTube channel called Reality Stretch Reads or something like that. I don't know. The Richest Man in Babylon. Must not be in public domain. Else someone would have put it in. Oh, it was published in 1926 by George S. Clausen. It's considered, from people I've talked to, it's considered almost like a vade mecum of financial wisdom. I started reading it. Lots of things I've started and never finished. That's why I want to be more proactable, or the similar word gleaned from Wallace Waddles yesterday. Definiteness. I want to be definitive. I want definite. Is definite and definitive related words? Are they related? Definiteness. Interesting. I hadn't heard it used until I've read the summary of the Science of Getting Rich. And I've read that many times before. I just never, that word's never really stood out to me. All right, so the richest man in Babylon. Is it in public domain? I'm going to add it to my book list here. The richest man in Babylon. Published in 1926. Wild, huh? Level of interest, I'll put it at a 3. And here's why. People read this book and then they come to me and say, you got to make your money work for you. Money makes money. And those are all wonderful people that say that. But if I ever write a book, it's one of the sections is going to be money doesn't make money. People make money. Because if you think about it, whenever any scenario where you say money makes money, most commonly people talk about that in the real estate industry. As in they're going to put their money into a fourplex. And that fourplex is hopefully going to be a cash flow positive asset for them. And they say that they have put their money to work. Their money is making money. But my catchphrase is all of life is time and people, not money. Not money. Money, if you bury $100, come back 10 years later, if it hasn't disintegrated, you'll still have $100. And what's more is due to inflation, it's going to be worth a lot less than it was 10 years prior. So I know what people mean when they say money makes money. I think it has the wrong emphasis, because someone who buys a fourplex and turns it into a cash flow positive asset, their money is not making money. It might be, but it's indirect. Their tenants that are renting from them are trading their time and resources to earn money to pay the rent. So any investment, whether you're buying paper, stocks, in a Fortune 500 company, the business valuation that I think is most substantive is looking at the leadership of the company, their ethos, and their people, to know what sort of a culture has been propagated there. Because I think the culture is the most has the most longevity and the best indicator of success, more so than the financials. That's my hot take. So I say any form of investment, tell me what it is. Even if you're day trading stocks, even more so if you're day trading, because the momentum-based investing is determined by other people's market perception, more so than even the valuation of the company. And the market perception is influenced by people's own placements, their buys and their sells. So if I ever flesh that idea out in a book, then it's going to be that people make money. People trade their time, which is their most valuable resource, because all of life is time and people. So if you want to become very, very, very wealthy, I think you have to have a business. You can become quite wealthy in the low volume, high ticket transaction space. But to me, that's riskier. If you want to become very, very, very wealthy, you need to serve as many people as possible in a positive way. You look at what Jeff Bezos has done with Amazon, or any of these titans of business, Bill Gates with Microsoft. Look at the more people who you can impact for good and monetize that way. And again, I think the value that they receive should be higher than the cash required to receive the value, according to the Science of Getting Rich, Waddles yesterday that we read. Anyway, is the rich, let's cut to the chase, in Babylon public domain? Ah. Yes, it is. The richest man in Babylon is in public domain. So why isn't it in Project Gutenberg yet? Is it in LibriVox? LibriVox, richest man in Babylon. It should be. Yo, it doesn't matter. Someone published it on YouTube and it's already in public domain, so it doesn't matter. But maybe I'll read it. Maybe I'll read it. It took this Yahoo 5 hours to read it. That seems like a big time commitment. Anyway, going into 2023, one of my goals is to read a book, read a part of a book, a portion of a book daily. And I think you could start with a page a day. But if I'm reading something that's in public domain, I can make that page a day on the stream. Also, I want to talk more about the Constitution and the founding documents of our country, because I think it's important that everybody knows what those are. I don't remember reading the Constitution all the way through. I've read the Declaration of Independence all the way through. And again, I bought the domain constitutiondaily.com. I just don't know what I would do with it. I really don't. Because if you have a podcast that talks about the founding documents, I feel like you're a little bit pigeonholed because you're going to run out of material, aren't you? And I'm not an expert historian. If I were, I could tell, stories about the founding fathers, etc. Or maybe I just explore it. And maybe Constitution Daily just becomes a portion of this show. And I just explore everyday things about the founding fathers, the founding documents. I'll say the founding fathers and mothers because there were a lot of women that were instrumental in the formation of the country as well. Anyway. So, back to this. Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. And then my dad also recommended to me 1 Minute Manager. Oh, it's by the same Yahoo. Well, one additional. Ken Blanchard and Spencer Johnson. 1 Minute Manager. $1982. Because it's my dad who recommended it, of course I'll rate it an interest of 5. I don't know. I'll bump these both to 4. It's nothing personal, Dad. 4. Who Moved My Cheese? Before I forget, a friend also told me that I should read Never Split the Difference and Profit First. But my level of interest on those is like a 2. They sound too competitive. I favor titles that I think are creative. And for that difference, I'm going to actually mark them both as 1. All right. Yes. So lastly, my good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea, but yesterday I found this banger of a song. Found this great song here. Let's give it a listen. I posted it up on YouTube. I gotta rewind this. So what I want to do here, let me turn this down. I think this is one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my entire life. So naturally, what that means I need to do is I need to find an adult pogo stick, something that can sustain my weight, which is hopefully by June I'll be down to like 180, but I'm like 235 right now, so that's like 50 plus pounds away. But again, I'm not focusing on losing 50 pounds or 60 pounds. I'm focusing on gaining a healthy state of 180 pounds. And maybe the best motivation to do that is one of these that I clicked on. It's just $40. Oh, not that one. This one. $129, $130 on Amazon. This one will support adults up to 210 pounds. So if for no other reason, my objective should be to get fit, just so I can hop on this pogo stick. Now, the ultimate plan here is I need to get an adult pogo stick and then play this song and get one of those like cameras on a selfie stick that all these influencers are using these days, and I will just straight up go hop around Boise on this pogo stick, and I'll do it all in one shot. There won't be multiple cuts. It'll just be me like hopping around the sidewalk in a pogo stick, and maybe like wearing this funky sweater I'm wearing right now, or I need to find something else to wear. But the point is, that's the kind of thing that this song inspires. It inspires me to want to make a video where I'm hopping around town on a pogo stick and a selfie stick, and I can like hop. I've got one hand on the pogo stick and one hand out with this thing, and I'll just go like hop around. Be like the best video maybe I've ever made in my life. And that's not saying much because I haven't made a lot of videos, but that's the song. And how could that song is like, oh, what? I don't want any lo-fi hip hop. No, thank you. Not now. Later time, maybe. So that's 3 minutes. That song is 3 minutes long, you see. I think I can do a 3-minute video, a 3-minute cut of me just hopping around town on a pogo stick. Absolutely. I used to be really good at a pogo stick. Never did anything wild like front flips or anything like that. The pogo sticks I had were not robust enough for that, nor would I try. I'm not really a thrill seeker. Anyway, that's it. So we spent the day trying to find Wally Minto, Arlo Minto. Found him, found his son's names. Very exciting. Now, as soon as I turn this stream off, I'm going to try to track his kids down to ask them if I can do an audiobook of the results book, or at least read it through on the live stream. And there you go. That's it. That's all I had, just those two things. This idea to do this video. And this is a celebration because we were able to track down credible leads in Wally's estate. All right, enough of this. Let's end this. Go do something productive today. Start planning your goals for 2023. That's what I'll be doing as well. I mean, this life is what you make of it, and it is a field of all possibilities. Over and out.